So now just to talk a little bit about physiotherapy and its role in osteoarthritis and osteoporosis, is that physiotherapy, first of all, is a natural healing process. Your body doesn't always heal by itself, but we can help it heal by unlocking your own body's potential in order to heal and adapt. Now, this is something to take note between arthritis, osteoarthritis, as well as osteoporosis. In osteoarthritis, we can manage your pain very successfully, but that does not mean that the cartilage damage and the bone damage that has occurred is reversed. What we're usually doing in the osteoarthritis way is looking at your knee or your joint as a system. And your bones don't work alone, your cartilage doesn't work alone. It works together with the muscles, with the ligaments, with your lifestyle, with the things that you do. In osteoarthritis, we're looking at multiple systems. It doesn't always work 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes they're occurring at the same time. But the process that we generally look at is regaining function and movement of the knee. So for example, a lot of people with arthritis struggle to bend the knee, but very commonly, we also struggle to straighten the knee. The only difference is that people can straighten the knee only about 10 degrees. So you don't realize that you've lost that 10 degrees. And with knee straightening, it's a lot of issues that arise as a result of not being able to straighten your knee properly when you walk. Bending, on the other hand, you can bend your knee so much. You can bend it that much. So if you can't bend it, you have to get stuck here, you're going to notice that because the amount of bending is up to 155 degrees. So you're going to notice you've lost 20 to 30 degrees. But when it's 10 degrees, you're not going to notice that you've lost maybe 3, 4, 5 degrees of movement when you're straightening your knee. So getting back as much knee straightening as well as bending is really important. But sometimes in arthritic changes, you will not be able to ever get it back. The only issue is that, let's say you've lost 30 degrees, you can only bend it that much, right? How much of this is from the arthritis versus how much of this is anything else? Maybe you can actually get back that amount, and then this is going to be stuck. So that's what we try to get back, and we never, ever force you through pain. We are trying to teach your body how to adapt to itself. So osteoporosis, how come you get so much for arthritis and so little for porosis? Very simple. In osteoporosis, it's a silent disease. You usually don't know you have it unless you got a checkup or you've already fallen down and sustained a fracture over an activity that shouldn't cause that. So with osteoporosis, you need to exercise to stimulate bone cells to reproduce and strengthen the bone muscle density as well as the muscle mass. So that's the generic concept, and you usually use weighted movements to do this. So you need body weight as well as external weight to produce this effect. Your body can lay down more bone cells, you need to tell it to do so. It's not going to do it on its own. Think about a person going to a gym. 1 year later, after going to the gym regularly, so muscular, so buff, and I ask all of you, where did all those muscle cells come from? They didn't appear from nowhere. Using your diet and your activity, your body was able to reproduce and create cells. And fortunately, as much as we have all this degenerative disease, muscle cells can reproduce, albeit more difficult as you age. At any age, they're still able to reproduce. The one thing you will not be able to do very well is high impact activity. So we're looking at down slope walking, we're looking at jumping, we're looking at skipping, running. These are things that you might not be able to do so well after you have these conditions. All right, and you should opt for some low impact alternatives. So this is a little bit of the simple exercises. These are not all exercises, but I had some trouble trying to think what exercises should I show everyone today, because everyone is going to be unique. The certain situations that you do have surrounding your conditions are unique to every single one of you, and there is no exercise that is suitable for everyone. There's no such thing, it doesn't exist. And every single program you give is tailored to the individual. So this is some simple things that you can try to address some certain problems that you may face with your knees, and this should be safe and completely pain-free when you do it, all right? So the first issue I'm looking at is restoring bending. So as you can see, this is something that you already do, and if some of you are Muslim over here, this is part of the prayers. So it's something really important to a lot of Muslim patients that I get. So of course, looking and doing at this extent is really difficult. So one of the ways to do this, and do it a lot easily, is actually just putting your leg on the chair. So when your leg is on the chair, you can actually sit back. One leg is on the ground, one leg is on the chair. And I can sit and bend as much as I want. So that's a much, so I will go and use my best. So you can just bend and straighten your knee on the desk as much as you want. Simple as that. You can do it on your bed, you can do it on a chair, you can do it anywhere you want, and just moving the amount that you can completely pain-free. Okay, so the next exercise that we're going to do is actually for knee straightening. So it's something really simple and something you can do just with a chair. So if you can see me sitting down over here, all I do is straighten my knee like that. So I'm sitting down, I straighten my knee and I lean forward. This is going to create a pull. I use my front knee. This is going to feel a pull over here. And it's a really good way of doing it. So in this exercise, you can do this as much as you want. Just one step forward and bending forward with the knee completely straight. All right, so it's something as simple as the picture has shown. It's a really easy way to get a calf stretch as well as your knee straightening. The alternative is the one I demonstrated earlier in the seated variation. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you is some really simple strengthening exercises. They are targeted at the muscle. So it doesn't matter whether you have arthritis or osteoporosis in this particular movement. It's targeted at the muscle, not at the condition. So if you can have the next slide, please. So in this one, it's really easy. And the beauty of this exercise is that you don't have to go as low as the lady is in the image. You can go as much as you want. If you go 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, that's enough. And you're going to be able to feel it on the front of your thighs. So now, back to the question I talked to earlier of 60 to 90 degrees. So you might notice that if you go a little bit lower, you might notice a little bit of pain. So I would generally recommend going only 0 to 60 degrees in this exercise, particularly if you have osteoarthritis. If you have osteoporosis, it doesn't matter. You can go as much as you like. All right, could I have the next slide, please? All right, so the next exercise is for your buttocks. I chose this exercise because it's simple and it's really hard to hurt yourself on this one. The exercise ends like this, and then you lower your buttock down onto the bed and repeat it. Generally, you do about 10 times 3 for most exercises targeted at the muscle. This follows something called the rule of 6. 6 for power, 12 for strength, 18 for endurance. So for a lot of you, the 10 sits kind of at the rule of 6 at number 2, or you can do even up to 18 repetitions for endurance. Could I have the next slide, please? Okay, so now people look at me and I say, this, I'm 60, are you mad? You want me to do something? I said, you're already doing it. You're lifting and shopping. If you tell me, oh, I'm afraid to bend down or I've stopped bending down, that's not a great answer either, because you should be able to bend down regardless of your age. Your spine and your knees and your hips are specifically designed to do that. And we may have to make this easier. She's holding about a 4 kg weight in that picture. But maybe at the start, you will hold no weight at all. Maybe you only go a little bit, you won't move so much. But as you progress through your exercises, you're going to be able to do this more and more and more. Eventually, this exercise just becomes picking something off the floor. And I don't need any equipment. Usually I ask people, grab a plastic bag and just do that. Can I have the next slide, please? All right, this is really simple. It's just tiptoeing, really important for your lower legs. And also this helps, you don't need additional weight for this. Your body weight is more than enough.